Hello, welcome to day 6 of my beating depression challenge. Today I woke up really early and went to yoga. I actually had a terrible night's sleep. I listened to a affirmation sleep meditation, but I think I had it up a little bit too loud, and I was kind of listening to it and not falling asleep. I'm not quite sure what happened, but when I looked at the clock, it was 3 in the morning, and I was like, what? How is it 3 in the morning? So I think I was drifting in and out of sleep, and so I wasn't sure if I was going to make it to my yoga class, but I did. So I was really happy about that. And today it's Saturday here. So yeah, I went to a crystal market and I brought a new tarot deck and some really nice crystals. And yeah, and so today I wanted to talk about a thing that's really common in New Zealand, and I think that's where a lot of negative self-talk comes from. In New Zealand, we have quite a bad, we have an issue with tall poppy syndrome. So I feel a lot of, not everyone here obviously, but it is quite a well-known thing in New Zealand, where if anyone is doing really well and is up here, then a lot of people don't really like them succeeding, or they're like, why do you think you're so good or better than us or whatever? So we all try to bring them down, so we're kind of on the same level. And so anyone who talks about themselves in a modest, not modest, and they talk about themselves and how well they're doing and all of that, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of people that are why are they, they must be full of themselves, or they must be up themselves, or something like that. So I think a lot of negative self-talk comes from, it's probably just ingrained in our parents and parents, ancestors, and all of that through the generations, because talking highly about yourself, or talking about if you're good at something, or all of that, isn't really accepted. We're kind of just kind of like the movie Mean Girls, when they're all standing in the mirror and they're looking at themselves and they're all picking out the flaws, and then Katie is and she's kind of oh, this is strange, and so she didn't really see. She was trying to then find something in herself to pick at. So I kind of feel a lot of my negative self-talk is probably almost, it's what we're born to do. Not saying that that's, but you look at your parents and they're probably just saying, when they're doing something wrong, they're stupid that, blah blah, that again, or I'm rah, rah. And then we do that. I'm trying to learn to not do that in front of my daughter, but I do notice I do it, and I have to constantly correct myself, or even my daughter corrects me and I'm oh my gosh, you're right. But obviously with her, I try and lift her up and say all the good things she's doing, or if she does say something negative, I'm oh, don't say that, So that is definitely something I'm really working at, and I think that really is a huge thing with depression, is all that negative self-talk that just becomes the daily norm. And it's almost it's a habit. It's basically a habit. So that's something I'm really working at. but like if I do them also on the videos, like if I'm stopping and thinking, it's probably because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna say something, or I've just said something, I'm like, oh, I need to change that and make it not negative. Yeah, so that's an observation. Tall poppy syndrome in New Zealand is real and it's intense. Obviously there's a lot of amazing people that lift you up and don't really buy into that, but then there's so many people that pull others down if they're doing better, because they're like, why does she, or why does they, them, he, her think they're better than everyone else? And generally, like, I mean, yes, I guess some people are all in their ego and very proud of whatever, and there is that ego side, as well as just genuinely saying what you're good at, acknowledging your strengths and stuff like that. But yeah, I guess a lot of people criticize anything like that and try and bring everyone down to their level, because obviously you don't want a poppy up there, they all got to be like, we all got to be the same. And so it's really hard when you're trying to do something a little bit out there, a little bit like different, or you know, you're doing well in your sector, career, whatever it is, and getting noticed, and then people are like, oh, like either one, they're jealous, two, they're just envious or whatever, or they just don't like that, you know. So I think that the tall poppy syndrome doesn't really help with negative self-talk. So yeah, that is definitely something I've noticed and is a real thing, and I think is a big contributing factor to negative self-talk. So definitely something I'm working on, and thank you to those of you who have sort of picked that up. I've always been aware of that. Well, no, sorry, I haven't always been aware of that. I learnt, I became aware of it through therapy over so many different therapists and counselors and stuff I've gone to over the years. It's like never ending. Yeah, so then I've changed the way I speak about myself, but it's definitely like it just slips in there, and it's kind of like always there. So it's definitely something I'm really making more aware of. So if you do find me having a moment to think or whatever, or if I'm a bit like it might be because I'm trying to like rephrase what's just come into my mind, and I'm like, oh, hang on, like how do I say that differently? So yeah, thank you for watching day 6. How are you doing? Do you want to, if you feel free to tell me a bit about your journey or your story. I love reading the comments that have been left by some lovely souls, and I'm glad that this is reaching some of you and hopefully resonating with you, hopefully helping you some way, or just I'm connecting with beautiful souls on a similar journey as me. And yeah, I really am grateful and appreciative, and I would love for you to like and subscribe and watch more of my videos if you haven't seen the others. I've got a playlist now. So yeah, and comment if you want to, and watch out for the next video. If there's also anything you want me to like talk about, anything that you've like picked up and you want me to like kind of go into more detail, if I can I will. Or yeah, thank you for watching. Okay, bye.